Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt Abong with Nats Fight Media coming at you guys with another video. You guys already know what time it is. It's time to bring on that boxing. Today we're going to be talking about Gervonta Tank Davis and the possibility of him facing Shakur Stevenson. Not exactly or necessarily in his next fight, but the possibility of Tank fighting Shakur is probably one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing right now, in my opinion. I think that Tank and Shakur is a great stylistic matchup that could play out in a number of ways, to be honest with you, because Bernard Hopkins, obviously Hall of Famer, one of those guys that he's a legend. Similar to Tank, he dropped Oscar De La Hoya with a body shot, and Tank kind of dropped Ryan Garcia. So there's that similarity in them where they kind of both dropped the golden boy, if that makes sense. And they have a lot of similarities in terms of their mentalities, but obviously we saw Tank and B-Hop get into it at the press conference for the Ryan Garcia fight. And obviously there were those allegations that he was, rubbing like steroids or something on him that would, force him to test positive for something. There were crazy rumors going around and floating around, but obviously these guys are fighters at the end of the day. Even though B-Hop's retired, he still has that mentality of, he's a competitor, and he said that, Tank better stay away from Shakur Stevenson. He thinks it's a bad matchup for him, and in a lot of ways he's right, because Shakur is one of those guys who's very disciplined. The thing about Tank is he hasn't faced somebody who's had the discipline that Shakur Stevenson had or has. I'd say that the closest person that had that patience was probably Mario Barrios. Obviously, he got stopped because he gave in. He chose to say, I'm gonna engage. I don't care about getting knocked out. I'm gonna go out on my shield. That's what happened to Mario Barrios. But up until that point, he was having a lot of success against Tank. So a guy like Shakur, who's not as big as Mario Barrios, but is still pretty rangy. He's a bigger dude, maybe 2 or 3 inches bigger than Tank, standing at 5'8". Tank's around 5'5". So that's still a bigger dude. And in addition to that, he knows his range, he knows his distance. So does Tank, though. That's the issue. A lot of people aren't giving Tank enough credit for his IQ, but I think that Shakur is just, the more well-rounded fighter. But obviously, we know that effect that Tank has with that one-shot power. So if he lands it only takes one shot, from Shakur to beat Tank. And I think this could be a competitive boxing match, but if I had to lean towards a fighter, I'd probably lean towards Shakur, just based off the pure discipline. The thing is, Tank gets hit a lot, and I think that even though Shakur probably doesn't have the most power, within the lightweight division, I think that he has enough pop to keep you honest, to keep you, away from him. And Shakur's just really good with the distance. He's very disciplined. He's very he treats the sport of boxing like chess. He knows what he's doing. He tries to think of what his opponent's going to do, and by doing that, he's already 2-3 steps ahead of you. So it's going to be a big step up in competition for Tank. In my opinion, should Tank fight Shakur? I think he should fight Devin, because I personally think Tank has a better chance of beating Devin than he has of beating Shakur, because we've seen Devin hurt. Obviously, Devin's fought more, credible opponents as opposed to Shakur, but Shakur's also just getting into the lightweight division. Faced a big puncher in Oscar Valdez, but obviously Tank's on another level. So I think that Tank should, go towards Devin right now, because in my opinion, fighting Shakur is too high of a risk and too low of a reward for Tank, at least at this point in Shakur's career, where he's popular. He's definitely a big name in the sport of boxing, but outside of that, people don't really know him yet. So until that time comes, fight the bigger name in Devin Haney. In addition, you'd get the belts. You're probably gonna have to make some sacrifices when it comes to the weight, so because Devin's undisputed. You can't do that rehydration clause stuff with Devin, so he's probably gonna have to take a backseat. That's why I think that would be a tough fight to make in Devin and Tank, because I think the negotiations are gonna be really it's gonna be tough to make that fight, in my opinion. I think the politics and the funds, the financial, complications that go into the sport of boxing might make that fight difficult to make. So I'm obviously always down for a fight between, technical boxers and then, big punchers. Even though Tank does have that IQ, I still consider him a big puncher, because, even though he's really skilled, he's all that. The power is what separates him. That's what wins him fights. That's what separates him from a guy like Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. Even though, in my opinion, these guys have the better talent, they're more slick in there than Tank is. He has the power to erase all of that to the point where it doesn't matter anymore. So if Tank can touch those guys, and when I mean, land clean shots on him, consequential shots, then it's going to be trouble for guys like, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. But if they're going to jab him all night long, keep him at bay, hit him to the body with that rangefinder, I think there's going to be problems. The thing is, Tank's feet are very underrated. I think that Tank moves very well around his opponents, pivots very well, turning all the time, and he's elusive in there. He gets hit, but his defense can be locked down if it needs to be. He showed that against Ryan. I thought his defense was tremendous. His ability to counter was very apparent. It was on display during the fight against Ryan, and I think against guys like Shakur and Devin, where Tank isn't scared of their power. He's been on the record saying that. So that could get him into a lot of trouble, but also it's going to give him that confidence to, walk these guys down. And then we're going to see how, guys like Shakur and Devin react. If they can't weather that storm, if they can't keep Tank, away from them, then these guys are just going to end up like another, a meme on the canvas. But, they have that skill. It's more of, are they willing to, stay disciplined and not engage and, get into the firefight, which is what Tank wants. So obviously I'm all for the big fights being made, but I think that for Tank, it's a better direction to go for the undisputed route as opposed to fighting Shakur. Unless you want to get him early, maybe you have a better chance of beating him now. Obviously, that's a close fight. That's a tough one to call, in my opinion. I'm just saying, I think Shakur is only going to get better, and if you're going to get him now. But at the same time, I want Tank to take that more undisputed route. So if you're undisputed, you have all the belts, you can still make 135. I would take advantage of that before Devin. I wouldn't want to see Devin at 140 if I'm Tank, because he's only going to get stronger. It's going to make him more comfortable on fight night. So fight Devin at 135 for undisputed if I'm Tank. That's what I would do. And then the Shakur fight's going to come, and that'll be a tremendous fight, especially when Shakur builds his brand, builds his name. I think that's going to be a fight of, tremendous magnitude, and people are going to tune in for that one for sure. But I'd go with Tank versus Devin first before Tank and Shakur. That's just me. So let me know in the comments what you guys would rather see first. Would you rather see Tank and Shakur first, or would you rather see Tank and Devin Haney? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nads Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.